So this is Operation Reverse Schengen Shuffle in action. I'm in Shkodër, Albania. I left Porky yesterday. A few days before that, I went to Struga, Macedonia. I'll show you some of that footage. Beautiful town. Today I'm headed into Montenegro for a night. Then we will be going into Bosnia for a night. Then into Czechia. Then into Germany. So my final destination is Leipzig, where I'm actually going to get an Airbnb for the first time because I've got some errands to run, and I have to get Porky situated at a boarding facility for a few days as I go to a music festival in the camper van, then back to Leipzig, etc., etc. So there's probably going to be a lot of driving porn with music in this video. So I hope you enjoy it. So like, subscribe, do all the things, and sit back and relax and enjoy. Who's a pretty dog? Good morning from Montenegro. We are headed up towards Bosnia today. I think I may have misspoke when I said 4 countries in 4 days yesterday. No. Basically, we are doing Albania, Bosnia, Croatia, Austria, Czech Republic. I'm missing one. No. Albania, Montenegro, Bosnia, Croatia, Austria, Czech Republic, and then we go into Germany. We're taking a more eastern route because destination Leipzig. So let's get on the road, y'all. Happy July 4th. I left Mostar, Bosnia this morning. I have just crossed into Croatia, which puts me back in the Schengen zone. Woo woo! About 450 kilometers south of Zagreb, where I'll be staying tonight. Today's a rather long driving day. Driving time's right around 5 hours, but border crossing was at least half an hour, if not longer. So as I may have mentioned in previous videos, I've really become smitten with the Balkans. This is a beautiful part of the world, and a part that I want to do a little bit more exploring. I'd really like to spend a little more time in Montenegro. Those coastal towns are really cool, and that sea view is just amazing. Very Mediterranean, kind of a good south of France feel to it. Tons of money invested, tons of development. Bosnia, I would say, is a place I want to spend some time. Sorry, I'm going up a hill here. That I'd like to spend a little bit more time in too. I was just in there yesterday and overnight, but the countryside is beautiful, and infrastructure is really good. I've been really impressed, with the exception of Albania, which I knew what I was getting into. Maybe even Macedonia, which is another place I would like to. I'm sorry, North Macedonia. Let me be correct. Which is another place that I'd like to spend a little bit more time in. Anyway, the infrastructure is real. It's good. Now Albania, which I have fallen in love with, I'll admit it, is still very wild, and it'll take Albania a few years, I think, with the right kind of investment. which is crucial. I don't know if catch up is the right word, but you know, the roads are rough. You've got to be careful, but they're working on it. I mean, there's roadworks everywhere, especially I noticed across the north, like Porky to Tirana is going to be a whole different game, probably within 5 years. So I spent about a month in Albania, and go check out those videos, if you like. And I could definitely see spending a lot more time. I may go back down, because I'll have to get out of the Schengen. I'll talk about that in a moment again. So I may go back down to the coast, like Vlora, Saranda, September, October, and see what that's like. But I didn't want to go down at this point because, as I understand it, it's inundated with tourists. And as much as I'm a beach guy, I like being on the beach. I don't like being on the beach with a lot of beach people. What I mean by tourists, people on holiday. I think it's great that they're doing it. But it's just not for me to fight through all that. Crowded restaurants, when you can go in September, as I understand it, and it's a completely different game. So, we'll check that out maybe. So anyway, busting up into the Schengen. My destination for any period of time is going to be Leipzig, Germany. So I have an Airbnb booked in Leipzig from the 6th, so that's 2 days from now, until the 9th. On the 9th, I'm going to a music festival in Sandersleben called Familientreffen. And I will be there until Sunday, which is the 12th? 10th, 11th, 12th, something like that. And then I'm going to go back to Leipzig for a couple of days. So what's happening is, when I get to Leipzig on the 7th, I have to have Porky at a boarding facility at 6 o'clock in the morning, kids, for his trial day, so that he can be boarded while I'm at the music festival. While I will be camping at the music festival, I don't think I'm going to have electric or anything like that. Don't know, but just generally it's going to be too hot for Porky to stay in this van. That's number one. Number two, Porky needs a bath. Awful. And I know that Lena may have something scheduled for him when I get back to Schwerte, which I will talk about, in Germany, after Leipzig. But I'm going to go ahead and do it. So, plus, he needs to be around some other dogs, I think, and play and, have a mini vacation. And then, while I'm in Leipzig on the front end, I need to find a camping store so I can figure something out about my refrigeration. And then I need just some general bits and bobs, like a mosquito zapper. I need something to stake the awning down outside. There's a couple of other things that skip my mind, but I do have a list. And then I need a pet store because Porky needs some food. He needs a new harness, maybe some treats and things like that. I need a haircut. Probably a clothing store wouldn't kill me. I need a pair of Birkenstocks. So I need to do some stuff in Leipzig. So Leipzig is going to be very busy, but I will tell you one thing. I am really looking forward to an Airbnb. This will be my first really real bed since I arrived on April 29th, because I've been in the van every night since April 29th. So I'll be doing that. And then when I come back to Leipzig after the festival, that is when I'm probably really just going to crash for a couple of days. Then we are going to drive to Schwerte, where I'll be going to Simon's birthday party. I need to talk with Lena to make sure that we're okay to park in the garage. I know she's had a lot going on. Park back in the garden. I know she's had a lot going on. Everything in this van needs to come out. Everything needs to be scrubbed down. You know, that sort of stuff. But after Simon's birthday party, which is around the 18th, I believe, of July, then I may head out for a week or so somewhere. Now, it'll depend on the weather and all that kind of stuff as to where I end up. Then we had, first week of August, we had talked about, Lena and I, going east to Görlitz, Germany, which is on the Polish border. We've done this a few times, but she's had a lot going on this summer, so I'm not quite sure where she's at. So we're going to have to connect. And I've also said that maybe I don't go do that again because I've done it before. Maybe I go down to France and then work my way back down to the Balkans. I don't know. We'll see. If I do go east, then I'll make my way back down through Poland and probably spend some time in maybe Czech, Bulgaria, Romania, something like that. Not sure. But as you can tell, there's no end of what's going on, of what is possible when you're doing this. I've been kind of keeping up with what I'm spending, so if you're interested in me doing maybe a budget video, leave a comment below and I can put something together there if you'd like to see kind of what it's costing me to do this. Now, Albania and the Balkans were very affordable. The next couple of months are going to be very expensive. So I'm wondering if I do maybe a budget after I've got a thing for June, my records, maybe June, and then maybe we can look at July and compare them side by side, you know, Balkans versus Northern Europe, kind of get a feel. Now, July is going to be a little bit more expensive than it should be because of the Airbnb situation. That's going to cost, you know, for 5 nights Airbnb is more than I spent on campsites in the Balkans. I can tell you that. But it's time, and I need it, and why not, you know? So, again, if that's something you're interested in hearing about, leave a comment. Anyway, I'll pick you up later on, kids. Okay, Sunday, July 5th. This is my 3rd day of driving, and I have one more after this, and we're going to be good. So let's head on up to Brno, Czech Republic. After I fix that alarm.